Okay, so to make this, it's a very simple Abaya Bubu dress. It's very simple, so you just need to pay attention to it. I've had lots of requests on this tutorial, so I just decided to make it today. So we're going to be making this beautiful abaya together. The measurement you will need is simple. You need your length, that's from your shoulder to the full length, wherever it is you want this abaya to be, but it's advisable for it to be on the floor length, really long, really flowy, for it to be really beautiful. And then you need your shoulder to sleeve measurements. Okay, so this is my center back now, so from there you measure to wherever it is you want the sleeve to stop. Okay, so for me, I think that's around 26 inches for me. So from my center back to where I want it, I don't want it to be on my wrist, so I just want it somewhere around here. You can put it anywhere you want. So that's the measurements you want. For my length, I'm working with 62 inches. That's the full length I'm working with. And then for this, I'm working with 26 inches, just like I explained. So if you have enough fabric, just fold your fabric in such a way that you have your front and back together. You're not going to have a side seam. But if you don't have enough fabric, you can just cut your front and back separately. So if you want to fold your fabric, if you are folding front and back together, I'm going to assume this paper is my fabric. So now what you just need to do is to measure the 62 inches like this on your yard area. So after measuring your 62 inches, you just fold on that point in such a way that you have 62 inches here, 62 inches here. So this is going to be your front and the other one is going to be your back. So you're going to fold into two like this with your full length measurement, okay, which is 62 inches for me. It can be any measurement for you, but mine is 62, just like I explained. So after folding into two like this, the next thing is to fold into four by your shoulder plus sleeve measurement, which in my case is 26 inches. So you can see how we have folded it this way. We have folded both our front and back together, and we don't have any seam on the shoulder. I hope you understand that. So that is what I have folded here. Okay, mine is not so long, so you can see that I just went ahead to join it here so that I can have them together. So, and I'm using velvet fabric. So for this, it is advisable you use a very stretchy fabric because there is no zipper and it's fitted. So you want something that is going to stretch and at the same time clinch to your body, so that it can give you that fitted effect that you have there. So that's why it is advisable to use a stretchy fabric. This is a velvet fabric and it is stretchy. So that's what I'm using for mine. So like I said, you don't need to do so much to this. It's a very simple bubu. So on my neckline, which is here, I'm going to mark my neck width. Ideally, I want to have like a boat neckline. So that is like, you can use the measurements of 4 to 5 inches. But like I said, this fabric is very stretchy and it tends to do more than you send it. So that's why I'm just going to play safe and leave it at around 3 to 3.5 inches. So if I wear it and I see that it is not what I want, I prefer to just increase it than just cut it and it will be too big and you will not be able to control it. So the width I'm working with here now is 3.5 inches, and then the depth for my neckline, I'm working with the same depth for both front and back. So I'll just leave it at 4 inches. But whatever neckline that you're using, make sure that it is enough for your head to pass through it. Like I said, there is no zipper, so the neck that you're working with should be enough to accommodate your head. Okay, so now I'm cutting it out, and that is all the cutting I'm going to be doing. So you can see I have cut out my neckline, and if I open it out, this is the neckline that I have. So you can see how stretchy it is. That's what I was saying. So I don't want it too stretchy, that's why I just made it moderate like this. So what you want to do now is to go ahead and hem this. You can hem it with your bias, or you cut a facing for it, whichever way. Just make sure that your neckline is neat. So now to create the magic that we see there, you just need to detach your front and back. Okay, so you just detach your front and back just like this, and then I'm going to fold it. So I will illustrate this with the paper so that we can see it better, because this is quite big. So I'm going to assume this to be my neckline on my paper. So after cutting out your neckline, what I'm doing now is just to separate the front. Okay, so I assume this is my neckline. Okay, this is the front and this is the back. Okay, so what I'm doing now is to separate my front from my back. Okay, you can see this is our front and this is our back. So sorry, I'm separating my front and back, and then I'm going to put it on fold just like this so that I can have my center front. Okay, so this is my center front and this is where I'm going to shape it. So we are going to leave the back flowing like that. We are not doing anything to the back. Everything we are doing is to the front, and that is why I advise that you use a stretchy fabric. So you can actually shape it, but okay, so like I was saying, after detaching the back from the front, now the next thing is to shape this. So from our shoulder, this is my shoulder, I'm going to come down by, you can use your waist measurement, your half length measurement, or your under bust measurement, or you can use your chest length depending on how stretchy your fabric is and how open you want it to be, although it's not going to really open. So if your fabric is really stretchy, you can just come down by 10 inches from your shoulder. So now once you come down by 10 inches, you're going to mark that line. That's where you're going to stop your, that's where you're going to stop your sewing. Okay, that's where you're going to stop stitching. So now on that mark, wherever it is you want, it can be your bust point, it can be your under bust or your waistline. You stop, you mark that point. So on that mark, now you're going to measure your circumference. So now for me, I'm going to, this fabric is very stretchy, so you can even use your waist measurement. If your fabric is stretchy, it will still accommodate your hip line, or depending on how fitted or free you want it to be. But I'm going to use my bust for this. My bust is 44 divided by 2. I'm dividing 44 by 2 because this front now is going to wrap all around my body. I can see that it is folded into 2. The back is just going to be left flowing, just like I explained. This front is what is going to go around your body, and we have it folded into 2. That's why I'm dividing my measurement into 2, not 4. So now if I divide the 44 inches by 2, from here I will have 22 inches. So from this center front here, I'm just going to mark 22 inches. So here on my actual fabric, from my center front here, I'll go ahead and mark my 22 inches. So I'll first come from my shoulder here. I'll mark, I think I'm going to leave mine at around 14 inches, which is my under bust. So here I'll mark the under bust measurement to indicate where I will stop stitching. Okay, and then from my center fold, which is here, I'll mark the 22 inches that I'm going to use to sew this. So 22 inches is like almost the end of what I'm using actually. So you just work with your measurement, with your accurate measurement, and if you sew it and you feel that it is too free, you can still come here to reduce it. So I'll just go ahead and sew it down, or you can just indicate your waistline now and then shape your waist. But you can only shape your waist if your fabric is stretchy enough so that your hip can easily pass through it. Okay, so now you can see where I'm marking. Now I'll just take it to my sewing machine now and then sew it all the way down. So if you want to leave a slit on it, you just measure the allowance that you're going to use for your slit. So let's assume this is where my stitch is going to stop on my paper. So after measuring my 11 inches, I'll just sew straight down like this and then stop the stitch here. So if I want it, so now this is going to be the center back. Okay, this is going to be my center front, this is going to be my center back. And remember, because we divided into 2, I'll have 22 inches on this side and 22 inches on this side, which is going to make the total 44 inches that I need for my circumference. I hope you understand this. Okay, so now here, if you want a slit on your hem, you just come up by around 10 12 depending on the slit that you want. But mine is really stretchy, so I don't need a slit for this. I'm just going to sew everything close from this point, and then I'll start sewing from my 14 inches, and then I sew straight to the hem. So I'll take this to the sewing machine now, and then I'll just sew it straight like that. So I have gone ahead to sew it. You can see how I sew it. I hope you can see my seam line. I started from my 14 inches, which is here. You can see that from the shoulder to this part is not sewn, it is opened. This way your arm is going to come out from. So from there I just sew it all the way to the hem. Okay, so like I said, if you want a slit on yours, you're not going to sew to the hem like this. You just measure whatever slit length that you want and you stop sewing at that point if your fabric is not so stretchy. So now here, the excess that I have here, the fabric is stretchy, so it was not straight. The way it was cut was not straight, that's why we have it like this. So this excess that we have here, I'm just going to cut it a little bit to the minimum, and then I'll just find a way to blend it here. So now I'm going to turn it so that you can see what it looks like. So here now, when you turn it, this is what your back looks like. You can see that the back is sewn. Okay, it's sewn up to the 14 inches, and this is our main back that we are leaving flying. So it's just going to cover it up like this. When you wear it, you're going to wear it from this place, this 14 inches space. That's where you're going to dip your leg and wear it. I'm still going to show us that. So now when this is sewn, what you need to do now is to clean up your neckline. I'm going to turn mine with bias. I'll go ahead and turn my neckline, and then on this side as well, I'm going to fold it and then hem it, and then hem it on the lower part as well. I'm going to hem everything. So after hemming it, the next thing now is to go ahead and stone this. So to stone it, you are going to need your accurate center front. So you can put your fabric on fold again, and then you use your chalk to back out your center front, because you're going to be applying stone on the center front. You can also apply this at the center back here, so the line that you have already used to sew it will guide you on that. Also on this, on the back that we left flowing, on the edges, let me use the paper to show us. Okay, so on all these edges that we have at the back, on all these edges, you can apply your stone, and then you can do that at the center back as well. So stone it as much as you want, depending on how much you're willing to spend on this. So for my stone, I'm going to pick a design from this pattern boards that I have here. So you can see, you can use this round design, you can use this channel design, it can be straight like this. Okay, so I'll just look for the one that I prefer in all of these boards, and then I'm going to work with it. So I think this is another channel design, but I think I prefer this because it's bigger and I don't want to use too much stone, so I don't need to double it. Okay, so I think I'll just go with this channel that has this design. So now I'm going to be using a size 3B stone, and then I'm going to be creating my stone using this stone board. We have this stone board for sale. If you need it, you can contact me in the comment section, or you contact me on Instagram so that you can get yours. So now that I have chosen this board, I'll go ahead and create my stone for this bubu with it. So if you don't know how to do this, I'm going to drop a link in the comment section for you to watch the tutorial on how I was able to create this stone. Okay, so I have created my stone. Now you can see the design that I created here. Let me just open it out so that we can see. So I'll go ahead and paste it so you can see the channel design that we created. So I made multiple of this, as many as you need, and then I'll just go ahead and open it and paste it with my iron, or you can use your e-transfer, whichever one you have. So like I said, a detailed tutorial on how I created this stone and how I'm going to attach it to my bodies is going to be dropped in the comment section, so you can check it out if you don't know how to. So I'll do this now, and then I'll bring it back to show us what it looks like.